Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome back to the Boo Shakalaka podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I'm joined with my co host, Pierre.
All right. We're sweet. We got the whip. We can't be beat. We're the best. Our team's too cool. We got the class to rock the school. Oh, yeah. We bad. We got the team. We can't be had. We're the best. So score them points. You win the game. We'll rock this joint. Go Toros. Go Toros.
Hey.
Go Toros. Go Clovers. Go Clovers. Go Clovers. Our game is fierce and we are hip. So get on back. You can't touch this. Our game is bad. We're without peers. So get that weak mess out of here. Tried to steal our bid, but you look like shit. And we're the ones who are down with it.
I do not know all the words to that, but I do know where that's from. So I feel that is an accomplishment on my part. I do know that is from the 1998 or 9 classic, Bring It On. But that's not what we're reviewing today. We're reviewing The Granny that came out in 1995. That's how she became the Granny. All right, so this is another one of those Blockbuster finds that we saw the cover in the store and we were just like, you know what? I think we should watch this. This looks like it's going to be amazing. And as you can see, all we have is the teeth behind us. So this is the Granny's teeth. The teeth were terrible.
I hate you.
Just as the special effects in this entire movie were. My goodness gracious. So the synopsis is Granny's family wants her dead so they can collect her insurance. While she is on her deathbed, she drinks an eternal life potion and returns to the land of the living. She is on a mission to wreak havoc over her greedy relatives. That's all we have, and that's pretty much the actual story.
Terrible movie. Like it was.
Painful. watching it as an adult. Oh my God! I think you guys.
Because when we were younger, we only paid attention to the specific outlandish parts. That's why we have, your favorite line in movie history. But amazing. Watching it now, like looking for a story, I was like, I can't do this. Like it was pain.
The makeup, the soundtrack.
What was there even a sound? I was like, there's no score. It was.
I felt like I was watching. You ever seen Clue?
No, I've seen because it's always on Amazon Prime, but I refuse to click on it. And
that's my favorite. That's my favorite movie.
Really,
my favorite.
If
movie
I watch this shit and it's terrible, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
I love it, but anyway, like there's a lot of like detective because it's a quirky comedy. Show. It's a quirky comedy, but this is supposed to be scary. But this is some bullshit. So we start off with like the cheapest exorcism of Emily Rose and Reagan that we have ever seen in our life. The girl is tied up to the bed. I'm like, God, I feel like we've seen this in so many movies now. This is like a trope that's been used so much now. And the girl tells her father, she's like, eat me. And I was like, oh, she's disgusting. What a pervert. But then she's like, if you eat me, and then I'll eat you and we'll rule the world or something, like it'll give us big powers. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, not too bad.
And the quote unquote priest is trying to tell him like, okay, chill out. She's not safe. What does he do? He pushes the priest down and goes over to his daughter. His daughter grabs his head and forces it down into her vagina. And I believe the line was, there's no teeth down there. And that's literally how it sounded.
She said,
that's not me being my voice. And so then she pokes out his eyes and kills him.
The whole time I was thinking about Scary Movie 2.
Me too. Fuck me.
Father.
Oh my God. What, like, okay, so she kills the priest guy and then
you're right.
Not the priest guy. She kills her father. I'm sorry. She kills her father, and the priest guy, and then she like starts getting all seductive, and like she goes from her demonic form to her regular form, and she's like, "Don't you want me?" And she's all flirting with the priest, and he's
Don't
just
you?
entertaining it. He
Don't you,
knows
baby?
about he knows that she's not human, and he's still entertaining her, like flirt
He's thinking like, I've never had sex with a demon. Maybe I should give it a go.
literally. So he lets her take off her top and show her boobs and get close to him. And then they like get into a scuffle. He fights her off. That's when he grabs like an axe and he knocks down the curtains, and the sun like shines on her, and we're basically led to believe she's dead. Then we get our
Is she a
intro.
vampire? Oh,
Then we get our intro credits, which are
it's like dun
terrible.
dun 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 dun
It's
dun dun
some
dun.
it's some Microsoft Word art.
I don't remember it being this low budget. The soundtrack, the title credits, girl, what? I was just watching like this
I don't
had
think it
to
was
have
a
been
single
made
song. It
with
was just tunes.
dun 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 dun.
So
No,
we're introduced.
there were no words. Somebody did that on a Casio keyboard.
Yeah. So it was we're introduced to the granny, and she's just like an old miserable bitch. And she's like like literally the first thing she calls her niece is like ugly. She keeps calling her ugly and homely. And we're introduced to Kelly, who's the niece who's closest to Granny. And she's basically the
And
one who lives at her house taking care of her.
Kelly looks like she would have been the star of Emmanuel. You remember those shows from back in the day? that softcore porn. They used to come on Cinemax, Skinemax. Like
So she's really pretty, especially 90s
it's
pretty.
so
But she like
she wears glasses and has a ponytail.
quite literally, she does wear glasses and have a ponytail. So maybe that's why, because like the whole movie, they call her homely and ugly and plain. And I'm like, are you serious? But
Are we
she
looking
does
at the
have on
same
glasses.
person?
Yeah, she has glasses, bangs, and a ponytail. So maybe that's enough to make somebody ugly. And she basically had this conversation with Granny, and Granny's just like promising to take care of her. She's talking about how she doesn't like her other family members, how they're all greedy and evil and just petty and spoiled and all those kind of things. Um, and so it's apparently Thanksgiving. I didn't realize that when I first watched this, because I'm like, where's the Thanksgiving? Because like, how did Kelly prepare the whole Thanksgiving feast by herself? Like what? And
They
so
had
the
to have
family
ordered out.
shows
We just didn't see it. They ordered out.
the family shows up, and so Granny basically has two sons, Albert and David. I tried to like not write down their names because fuck these people. Albert and David, and so Albert's the oldest, David's the youngest, and Albert is like a plastic surgeon, and so he has like a plastic surgeon wife. I mean, not a plastic
Mhm,
surgeon wife, but a wife who has lots of plastic surgery.
mhm.
And he has two kids who Jason and Amy, and then
He's
David's
Kelly's
the
his son too. Kelly's his daughter as well.
yeah, Kelly's his bastard daughter. I was gonna get to that later.
Oh.
Kelly's his bastard daughter, and then David, who doesn't have any kids, but he's a fucking pedophile and an incester, and then I don't know who the fuck. I don't even know her name. Who was the slut married to? I mean, who's the slut? Who is she?
Antoinette. I don't know who she
Anto-
was.
Because she said Uncle David. So I was like, is that whose daughter is that? Because if that's Albert's daughter, this movie can go straight to hell. Because she's just like Uncle David, Uncle David, and I'm like,
I really don't know. She kept calling him that, and yeah.
so we're
So
getting full Game of Thrones here, and so then we have wait, shit, is that it? I think that's yeah,
no,
that's it.
David's wife Andrea. That's the plastic surgeon, and then Junior, who is an asshole, and then Amy, who is an
Oh,
asshole as
I said
well.
Jason and Amy. Okay, I knew it was a J. So Junior and Amy.
Junior.
So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's it. That's all. That's the game, and they are all just fucking losers. Um, So they go in and like I don't understand this part. Like Amy, I'm not Amy. Shit, Kelly rolls out Granny to greet the family, and then Amy sees her and screams and runs away. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And
It
then they
was
all come
Granny's
upstairs.
voice. She said, "Amy."
I hate you.
Amy was like, "Ah."
And everyone comes up and kisses her, and she's just like, "Hello, hello, hello." Except for Junior, he's like, "Kiss your granny." And he's like, "Fuck it up." Like I don't know. They're just like very angry and aggressive. It's just very weird for it to be
Like,
Thanksgiving.
why would
And
Granny even invite them there? Is the biggest question.
I don't know. She seems to love her husband, and her husband spoiled them. So maybe I don't know. But
And why was everybody calling her Granny? Even her sons were calling her Granny.
Because the script, we're gonna just assume there was no script and they just went in and said, "Fuck it, this is a Tubi movie," and so everyone in the family is oddly mean to Kelly. Like they're just like, Kelly, you're not making like she prepared the whole Thanksgiving feast, which mind you, once we get to the Thanksgiving feast, ain't shit on the goddamn table. But she prepared the whole thing and they're like, you didn't use the gravy I used. And I'm like, you should have got your motherfucking ass here early and prepared it. Like, because all I saw in the kitchen was Granny's damn soup. So anyway,
and it was I think it was like borscht.
And so the plot is, look, Granny's rich. That's what you need to know. Granny's rich. She lives in a big old mansion. And so all of her kids want her to die so they can inherit everything. So somebody goes in and poisons Granny's soup once Kelly takes the soup and pours it in the bowl for her. Now, this is done hours before they actually fucking eat. So why she took it out that early, I don't understand. And so a visitor stops by. And they're all like, who the fuck are you? And he's like, I'm here to see, what is her name? Anastasia. It's like, and so Kelly brings them to see Granny, and they're all like acting real. So for people who are plotting to kill a fucking woman, they're acting very suspicious, and it pisses me off because they're like, "Who is he? What's going on?" And I'm just like, calm down, chill. Like it's not easy. It's not hard to kill an old woman. And so, what is his name? Ami.
Mon Ami.
Mon Ami. And so, fuck you. And so, he goes to Granny, and he's like, "Look, bitch, I got this death becomes her potion that I ripped off, and it's gonna help you stay immortal forever." And she's like, "Why the fuck would you give me this?" And he's like, "Because you've secretly been donating millions of dollars to charity, and so we want good people like you who are good-hearted to live forever and spread across the world and basically just promote kindness and goodness." Kind of a cute theme, but sir, you just saw how bad this shit went in the first episode, and he's showing up here like ain't shit wrong. So basically, he let Granny know the rules. I don't know why he lets her know the rules because she ain't listen to a damn thing he says. And Kelly is listening to this whole conversation via some sort of baby monitor.
It's an intercom system. It's an intercom system, stupid.
And so he basically tells her, all right, you got to do this. You got to do this cleansing ritual.
Oh, wait. I have the 3 rules.
Oh, so, thank God.
Yes. No getting the elixir into direct sunlight.
Okay.
Perform a cleansing ritual and make peace with your family. And the third one we don't get to hear because we're seeing it from Kelly's point of view, and then Albert comes in and she turns off the intercom, so we don't get to hear what the third one is. But you miss a good part, which is going to come into play at the end. Before Mon Ami gets there, Junior is doing wrestling moves with Amy. Like, he is a pure fucking psycho. And then he even like talks to Granny. He's like, "Oh, him and Granny are gonna get into a battle." I really wish we could have seen them battle before Granny got her powers. Like, I want to know what Granny can do in that wheelchair.
Yeah, they're both, but it's crazy that they're not close because like they both like wrestling. But I'm like, okay,
right?
Yeah, that was because Granny was like trying to watch her wrestling show and her family's coming in. She's like, "Get the fuck out!" It's so weird because when they first arrived, she was kind of nice to him, and then she just stopped being nice. But anyway, so yeah, so he gives her the potion, he gives her the rules, and then he gets the fuck out of there. And then like Amy's like, I don't know, he's like, when they're talking, he's like, "Yeah, your niece is beautiful," and she's like, she's homely, she's ugly, but she has a good heart. And I'm just like, damn, Granny.
Are we seeing the same woman? Because
it's crazy.
Is something wrong with me? Because
Granny
Amy
was
looks
dogging
great.
her ass out.
Kelly looks great.
Yes.
I don't know. I that was just really weird. So he gives her the elixir. He's like, "Okay, I'll be on my merrily way." And Granny immediately puts the elixir on her countertop. On her dresser. Like, Granny, it's still sun outside. Why didn't you take that and put it in the bathroom? Granny, why didn't you put it in the closet? Granny, why didn't you like put it under something? She just puts it right on the top, and the sun immediately finds the bottle and it starts bubbling up like a fucking genie coming out of a bottle. Like,
and then her cat Wolfgang goes and licks it, and so he turns into a fucking cat zombie. And I was like,
he gets electrocuted first.
Yeah, it's like, well, I thought his skin was peeling off. I don't know. It was terrible effects. I don't have time. Like, I don't have time for the taxidermy cat that they like. And so.
We have no idea of the magnitude, but it is the fountain of youth. Granny is supposed to live forever, but I'm like, when you look at her face, it looks like she just has like she had a chemical peel. Like the special effects were terrible, and
Mm-hmm.
they change
Mm-hmm.
every scene. And then they go and they double it. They said, okay, we're gonna double it at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
movie. We'll get there later, but it's just we don't know basically what the potion does, and I feel like even at the end of the movie when the credits are rolling, I still don't know what that potion was capable of when it's incorrect, when it's wrong. Like what the fuck happened?
Um, True. And then Kelly and Granny have a conversation where basically she says, she cut the whole. Well, I'm sorry, not this isn't with Kelly. This is with the guy. Granny cut everybody out the wheel except Kelly. So that's what you need
Mm-hmm.
to know for later. All right. So Granny tries
The dinner scene.
to to do the to cleanse herself. So we get to the Thanksgiving scene. So she's like, okay, dinner with my loving family. And Junior's rolling her in and he knocks her into the wall. And that's when he's the bastard. Watch where you're going, you little bastard. And so it didn't last very long. Like literally that was it. She doesn't try at all for the rest of
No.
the time. So they're having Thanksgiving and Junior's complaining about having prime rib and she's like, shut the fuck up. And they're all eating prime rib and then fucking Antoinette and David, she's like rubbing his dingaling with her leg and like, how's your
With her
meat?
foot under the. I'm still trying to figure out where
I'm just like,
she
yeah, I don't want to know because if that's Albert's daughter, that's disgusting. Like I don't understand this wanting to fuck your uncle thing. And so
maybe she
they're-
was Andrea's daughter, and it was just by marriage. Let's go with that.
oh, okay, that makes
Let's
sense.
that.
Okay,
Let's go with that. That's a little safer. I mean, it's still bad,
yeah,
but
but it's like
safer.
your kids won't be. Yeah, okay, all right. So
Yeah.
they're at the
Hmm.
dinner and they're just going back and forth and Granny's just being like. He's like, Mom, I want to sell the house. She's like, fuck you, you're not selling the house. All this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then
She's like, "You're not sending me to Shady Pines, bitch."
and you just want to tear down my house and build some bullshit. Which she did
He's
want
like,
to build some bullshit. That house looked
"Mom,
that house looked disgusting. That
mom."
house they
It's like,
wanted to build.
"Mom."
And so they're all fucking weird. And so Granny starts stirring her stew and
Thought
it
I was
looks
watching fucking
disgusting.
Get Out.
And so everybody just starts staring at her. Like everybody at the table just starts staring at her very creepily, very perverty. And so Amy's like, this is the realest line of the movie. She's like, why is everybody staring at Granny? Like, and they're like, we're not staring. And I'm like, y'all not fuck with me today. And so she's like, yeah, you are. You're acting like you're trying to wait for Granny to swallow poison or something. And then she spits out the soup and she's like, and so they're like, oh, Amy, don't tell lies and da-da-da. And then, Amy gets all upset and she leaves the table. And so Granny's like, that little girl's the only one in the family who can speak the truth. And he's like, Mother. And he's like, you. Here, say it, Tiffany.
Albert is
Go
like,
ahead.
"But mother," and she's like, "Albert, you're a load I should have swallowed." And it is one.
He's all broken.
It's like, oh my goodness. Like he clutched his pearls when she said it. Like, it is the best line I think I've ever heard.
Mhm.
So this came out in 1995. I was 12 years old. So I think I probably watched it around like 99. So I was a teenager.
Mhm.
And it's something that has lived with me forever. And I think about it dearly.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
It's
about it was just Tuesday from Street Fighter. Yeah, that's how I feel.
the day
Like,
that everything was stripped from you,
yeah.
the day that changed your life. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it was Tuesday. And she was like,
What?
ah!
Terrible acting, but that line, he killed that line. Her acting ruined it, but
R.I.P.
damn it, he killed that line.
R.I.P. Raul Julia. So Granny is going off. You bitches only want my damn money. You don't love me. Blah blah blah. And then Granny starts to have a heart attack. And
Literally.
Kelly's like, somebody help her. And then Albert goes over to her and he's just leaning over and he's like, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And he
He's
tells
like, get my bag.
And David's like, what are you gonna do? Give her a breast lift?
And so she's like, "Oh, Dr. Hardy, no!" And it's just very cringe shit. Dr. Hardy comes over and he's the fucking chiropractor. I'm like, what the? I
He's like, I can
hate
do
this
it.
movie.
I can do an adjustment, and she'll be good. And it's like,
Yeah, he's like, it don't look good, and he like, don't look good. See, I hate when the dumb characters are smarter than the dumb character. I'm sorry,
yeah.
smarter than character's supposed to be smart. Because he's like, don't look good. That's your professional opinion. Because like, really, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it don't look good. So they don't care. They just want the money. Anyway, so Granny, she gets up out of her bed in her chair that night after having the heart attack. But the chiropractor worked it out of her. I guess he worked out her heart, and so she tries to do the cleansing ritual, but she doesn't like. She's like, oh, no, no. She says like the first sentence, and then she's like, "Fuck this, fuck that, blah blah blah." Like she don't really
Bottoms
care.
up.
Yeah, and then she drinks the potion, and then she
And then
dies.
she ends up dying. She dies for real this
Yeah,
time, like a dumbass. This was the funniest part of the movie. They're wheeling her away, and Albert is like, oh, and David says, Albert, don't you think you're overdoing it? And Albert's like, what do you mean? These are tears of joy. I never thought I would see this day. That was the best
when
part of
she's
the movie.
riding away in a hearse. Why is she riding away in a hearse and not an ambulance?
It was
Exactly. And
1995.
so the lawyer comes over. This happens very fast. The lawyer comes over and he's reading the will and he's like, all right, everybody is getting everything except Kelly. Everybody's getting like basically it was $170 million, but split between all of them, they're all gonna get about $15 million, give or take a couple 100,000, and Kelly gets $1. And her dumbass don't contest the will. She's just like, that doesn't seem right. I don't understand.
They'll
No, I
get
won't
what's
contest.
coming to them.
Yeah, and even the lawyer is like, "You're not gonna contest." Like she said, you were her favorite. Like, but okay, you want to be a dumb bitch? I'll let you be a dumb bitch. So
Right.
lawyer leaves, and Albert's like, "We're going to throw a small gathering for mother. Nothing pretentious. It's a whole big ass party." And that's when he reveals to everyone that he's gonna build this ugly ass house.
Mhm.
I, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. So and this is when the fucking incest happens again, because the niece and the uncle, she goes up to the uncle and she's like, "Oh, yeah. So if you are you singing one? Because if you want me, you have to be exclusive." And he's like, "Well, I need a preview if I'm gonna do that." And she's like, "You want a preview of these?" There was a lot of tits. And,
Her
and I was
her
like,
the whole time when she pulled her boobs out, I was like, why are they all one color?
I think they were powdering back then. So it was so it was just a lot of tits in this movie, nothing but tits. And so she's like, "You want these? You're gonna have to be yeah." And so they
We
really don't
see
even do it.
4 pair of tits in this entire movie.
Yeah, they don't even do anything. Like she just shows them her tits and she walks away. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this movie? So we're at the mortuary, and the mortician and his wife are like looking over Granny's body, and they're looking at her like, they're talking shit about her, but they're also looking at her big ass wedding ring. And so the wife is like, "Give me that ring. I want that ring." And he's like, "I'll get it for you, sweetie." And so he takes the saw and they try to pull it off first. Then he takes the saw and tries to get it off of her finger. That's when Granny wakes up and she grabs him by the neck and she starts sawing his neck and killing him and squirt blood. And it's not very gory, but it's squirty bloody.
Mhm.
Like
And
Quentin
then here comes
Tarantino.
and then here comes Granny's puns. I said, what the fuck is going on with us watching movies with all these fucking puns in it?
I wrote down terrible puns. Excuse me? Excuse me, man?
Beautiful
What are you
puns,
doing to me?
beautiful puns, beautiful puns. You forgot the good part. So, while Granny's still dead on the slab,
I'm not.
yeah.
Don't. Please don't do
And
this.
the guy hits her. He's like, "Oh, she's still alive." And the guy's like, she's dead. Look at her. She's dead. DED. That was one I
The
used to
shit you take joy in, go ahead and
say.
play it. Go ahead. It broke up. Play it again.
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were playing a clip. I thought I heard
No.
a clip.
No, that
Oh,
was me.
was that
That's how
just you
good
talking? Oh,
that's how good my voice is.
that is how good you are. 'Cause I was like, oh, that's a clip from the movie because you've done that before. Um,
Yes. Yes. So then
and
we're
then
back to the
she,
house. We're
yeah,
done
we're
with
back
them.
to the
Fuck
motherfucking
them.
house. We're
Yeah.
so done.
Andreas leaves to go steal Granny's fur. Her and Albert go into the dead dad's room. So who grandpa, we don't hear
Yeah,
anything about him, but he had like a room that his study that nobody could go in. Andrea leaves to go steal Granny's fur, and she's basically getting off to the fur. She's like, "Oh my god. Oh, yes.
and
Oh." I'm like,
and Albert's drunk in his dad's chair, and he's just basically like, "Fuck you, dad. You were weak, and we never." And I'm like, But the granny said he was the one who spoiled them. So I'm like, it's weird that they don't like their dad, but whatever. Um, and so in the midst of that, you see Granny in the window, and all of a sudden she has leprechaun powers. She like ties him up in the chair. It's like he's in a dentist chair. He's all wrapped up and shit, and she's just
Dun,
like,
dun, 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 dun,
and then
dun.
she just starts slicing him with a scalpel.
Yo, she slices him so much. Like, I was
Mhm.
like, this is going on for a really long time. Like, his face would have been like filleted if they would have showed him again. Well, they do show him again, and he does not look how he should have looked when she
One thing
did what
about
she
me, one
did.
thing about me, one thing about me, I'm not going. There were no writers to this movie, so I'm going to assume they put up a camera and they just say, "Hey guys, let's just do something fun for the weekend." Because I'm not. No, like I can't go there with them. So while she's getting off to the fur, all of a sudden she sees Granny behind the mirror, and then the fur comes alive and starts eating her because it's
It's a,
like
the
real fur,
it's the chinchilla coat from Ghostbusters.
and so it's like and she's like, what does Granny say? She's like, that's the thing about what did she fucking say? I just wrote down terrible pun because it was something like I don't damn it. It eats you alive.
Let's say that's it. That's the thing about fur. It eats you alive.
I don't know. It was just terrible.
But wait, Granny's
So
lip syncing. Her lip syncing was so bad. The whole time I was thinking about, please sashay away. This fucking shit is terrible. Like, it was so bad. I don't know if Granny did her lines and then they dubbed that fake voice over top,
mhm.
or they had the fake voice and then Granny did her lines to match up with it. I don't know. It didn't work for either party.
Right, because Granny was clearly a 30-year-old woman. Um,
Oh my god, she
and
was
so
definitely Sophia from Golden Girls or Mama's Family because she she looked the same age as literally everybody in the movie, even Kelly. It was ridiculous. It was
besides
ridiculous.
her chemical peel skin. And so
Yeah.
this is when the movie I have no idea what's going on in this movie. So Kelly is naked. We see Kelly's huge ass tits. She's clearly a porn star. And so I don't know why we see her naked in her granny panties.
Well,
Um
she's packing to leave, and the David the creep sees her, and then she gets up and she closes the door. A scene that was not needed because we already knew she
uh,
was packing earlier when she talked to Amy about saying that she had to leave. I don't
yeah.
know. So David sees Antoinette at the top of the stairs, and she calls him up, and then once again we are, you know, in a moment where we have to watch somebody give terrible fellatio. Damn it! She's like, yum, yum. Yum.
And he's just but he loves it though. I'm like, she's clearly
Yum.
using teeth. Um and so
And then she turns into the granny. She
right, and
turns into
so Granny
granny.
pops up and she takes out her scissors and she cuts off his wee wee, and he's just
Tosses it. Toss
he's
over to her.
not like yeah, he does. It was very small and she tossed it, but he wasn't reacting to his weenie being cut off like he wasn't screaming. He was just like, ah, like, sir,
Right.
this hurts. I know this hurts.
Do you remember that part? I don't even remember that ever
Yes, I
happening.
remember that part. I
Okay.
remember that part because that was when they were like, close your eyes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Because
All
remember, I
right.
watched this in
Well,
Gulfport. So they were like, close your eyes. And I was like, I mean, it's too late now. I was like, what is that? And so then
I
she's like, I'm going to
mean,
cut off your big head. And by the way, this is Granny's voice. I'm trying to tell y'all, this is not, that's literally how she said, I'm going to cut off your big head. So she kills
let's do
David.
it at the same time, and I think we can get it. You ready? One,
Ready?
two, three.
I'm going to
I'm
cut
gonna
off
cut
your
off your
head.
big head. I'm pretty sure we sounded exactly like her. Just mold our just mesh our two voices together, and then boom, that's how she became the granny.
I hate you. Stop saying that. You're making people think it's a good movie. And so Kelly is dressed in her dress because she's leaving in a dress. And why did she get that shotgun? Like, was that her shotgun?
Well,
She just
well,
randomly.
I'm sure it was Grandpa's, and then she saw blood under the door,
Oh,
so she was like, "Okay, I got to see
yeah.
what's going on." So
And
she does
then
what she's supposed to do. She's really just
right,
trying
she
to
has the
find
gun.
Amy. She's trying to find Amy. She don't give a fuck
Yeah.
about anybody else. Everybody else is like a dick, literally.
So yeah, she sees the dead body. She's trying to find Amy. Then she warns Amy and Junior like, get the fuck out of here. It's murderers. And then they even see the demonic Antoinette eating David's body, which I was like, oh.
She was still eating his crotch.
Yeah, but I don't remember Granny killing her. Like, Granny didn't kill her. She was in the room. Those were the other pair of tits we saw, because she was in the room just dancing, and we saw Granny outside the window, but I didn't see how Granny killed her.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't see how she killed her, so I was like, okay. But they, again, this was done on their iPhone. Well, I'm sorry, on their damn. They didn't have
Not
video.
their
This was
iPhone.
on their camcorder, on their Wonder Years camcorder. And so they just probably forgot. And so Kelly goes to open the fucking front door. And Granny's like, hey! And
Surprise!
Opens the door. Yes. And then Kelly opens, damn it. Kelly opens the door, and then she sees Granny. She closes the door. Granny knocks down the fucking door on Kelly. That was the most hilarious part of the And then she's like, yeah, I cried. You didn't invite me, so I crashed. And
I'm like, Granny, you've been in this house the whole fucking time. Why'd you leave and come back?
Literally, nobody said you weren't invited, bitch. Like, again, are you a vampire?
This comes the part we all been waiting for. It is the Royal Rumble featuring Junior and Granny. Junior is beating the shit out of Granny, and it's like, I mean, he is throwing her old ass around like a rag doll, and then Granny like eats her Popeye spinach, like you said, and then she just. Granny goes ham. She throws his ass off the banister, and then she picks him up and she hits you with a what was his name, Zangief, when he does the.
Oh my god, I hate you. Shout out to the Street Fighters fans out there. That's literally what she does, though. And he breaks his neck, and he
pile drive. That's what it's called.
And so Kelly gets up from under the door. I don't know how she survived that, and she shoots Granny, and Granny's like, "I gave you everything, and you shot me in the back." And so
it's like, Granny, you're trying to kill me. Like, what?
Right. And so Amy, literally, Amy runs downstairs, and Kelly and her run out the house. And so she basically gets gets Amy to the front gate, and she's like, run for your life, bitch, get help. And so it's raining, and so
Kelly could have fit out that gate too.
I was very confused. Why didn't she climb over? I was very confused why she thought going back was a good idea. Okay, so she goes back into the house. And so she's like
Mona
in the
shows
kitchen,
up.
and shut up. She's in the kitchen, and then Amy is running through the rain, and this creep is following her. It's like this dark figure, and you think it's Granny, but then it's really just the priest. And he's like, "It's okay.
It's okay. Mona me.
I need you to help me stop Granny." And I'm
How did he know that they needed help? How did he know that they needed help? Who called him? Did he have a number? I feel like she wrote to like Publisher's Clearance House and got that elixir. There's no way, like.
I was just like, he just knew that the dumb bitch left it out in the sun. So, and again, you're taking the child back to the murder house. Okay. And so Granny scares Kelly in the kitchen, and so Kelly runs out into the dining hall, and they're all having Thanksgiving dinner again, and they're all fucked up. Like, they're all zombified and just messed up. And then Granny comes in, and they're like, join us. And she's like, she brings in David's head, and she's like, treats for the sweets. I like that part too. And so they're just eating, and they're just very happy. Like, they're actually happy dead. And so
here comes
that's when Granny's like, hey, the only person missing is little Amy. Kelly, go and get her. And so that's when Albert gets up, and he tries to grab Kelly, and then she tries to shoot him. Ain't no bullets in the fucking shotgun. I could kill this bitch. You only had one bullet. And so she drops the gun, but she grabs the sword that's on the wall, because of course they have swords on the wall. And so she cuts off his hand, and that's another favorite line. Adria, she cut off my hand.
Mom! She broke my nail! Mom! Those bitches broke my nail! She broke her nail. She broke her nail. Get those nail breakers. Get those. You don't remember that?
I don't know what movie you're talking about. I'm about to call
Ladybugs.
What is that?
Go to hell. Yeah. So, yeah.
And so, and then
Grandpa.
Yes, Grandpa knocks Kelly on the side of the head. Tiffany, I want to sue them.
Disgusting. It was.
I want to sue them.
Disgusting.
He's just like a talking
hemorrhoid.
What do you call those things? Shrunken head. And then she's like, Titus! And she goes over and they tongue kiss. It's just gross for no reason. Like, who the fuck made this?
so bad. Then Amy
Like,
comes in, Amy runs in and she tosses a chancla at Granny, and then she runs at Granny and Grandpa, and she runs off, and they're like, and Granny's like, "Everybody go get Amy!" And everybody starts
and
running
she's
off.
like, then she started
And
cussing. She's like, "Catch me, dickhead!" And I was like, "When did
yeah,
you start
like,
cussing?"
why'd you turn into a little bitch?
She's like, "You guys suck," and I'm just like, "Okay." So Kelly gets her dumb ass up, um, and then fucking Amit comes up and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I need you to come back for me." And then they kiss, and I'm like, "When the
After
fuck?"
you just saw Granny and Grandpa kiss, I wouldn't have wanted to kiss anybody for like 100 years after that. Like, it is the most disgusting thing that I have seen on YouTube in the last 30 days. It was so, just think of
Yeah,
the nastiest.
because she was, I don't know, he was all dead and decrepit. He was a hemorrhoid, and so
Literally.
um, they kissed, and I'm like, where did this romance come from? But okay, um, and so this is
Amy gets captured.
Granny. Yes, Granny. She pretends to be Amy's mom, and so even though Amy just saw her mom as a zombie, she goes in the room, and then so she gets captured, and she gets sort of turned like she's not dead, but she's like demonic. I don't know what you
Hmm.
would call that. She's like omened out, and so and the priest has a magical sword with him. And so while Amy's getting fucking caught, him and Kelly are like fighting the zombies, and so like she fights Antoinette, and she's like, "I never liked you, bitch, feelings mutual," and they just beat each other up. And then the priest like stabs Antoinette, and so the sword actually like evaporates her. And when I say evaporates her, y'all,
What do you mean evaporates her? Like what? She turns into Windows 95 graphics.
um
Clip art, clip art, clip art.
very much so. Wendy's not. You would. I don't even think Windows was. This is like that old Mac, that Macintosh shit. Um, and so she dies, and that's when like I don't know, Amy's sitting down at the stairs, and somehow like she uses the sword to kill Amy, like, or is he sucked into the sword? I didn't understand that part.
She
He
kills
gets
him with
like
black.
this.
No, she kills him with black Twizzlers.
Okay, thank you, because I was like, is that the sword doing that, or because I like if you can just kill people with black Twizzlers, then
What the
what
hell
are
are we
you
living
killing them
for?
for? Like, why don't you just kill Kelly the same way? I was again, this was not a movie that was written. We have to be kind.
Oh, it was
This is
freestyle.
not. This is just freestyle like 1-6 Park. And so, Kelly and Granny start fighting. And she's just like, "You let them squander you out of your inheritance," and da da da. And she's just saying all this like weird shit to her, which we knew that they. I don't understand how they did that though. Like, did they just write the will themselves?
Well,
Because wouldn't the
the
lawyer
person
have the will? And,
he said that it had been recently altered.
okay. Because I'm like, doesn't have to be notarized and all that but okay. And so anyway, they're fighting and Granny beating her ass. Kelly is like the worst main character because it's like you want to root for her because everyone else is mean to her, but she's
Hmm.
like fucking weak. Like even when the priest comes over and they're all like, "Is that your boyfriend? Are you gonna marry him?" Because she was like, "He's handsome," and they're like, and I was like, "Y'all are fucking grown. Y'all are like
No,
in
they're
your
not.
50s, 60s." And they're
They're
like,
idiots.
"You're gonna marry him." I'm like, y'all are fucking losers. Like,
So,
so yeah,
so
she's so fucking weak.
yeah, it's ridiculous. And Granny threatens her with old age, and that's what I was saying. She gets the same Granny makeup treatment as before. So they increased their budget
Mhm.
from $10 to $20 to give Kelly a beautiful, I mean, I'm sorry, a ugly old face as well. Give her a chemical
Mhm.
peel as well. And so they're beating
Mhm.
the hell out of each other. And somehow Amy comes out of her spell and she kicks the knife over to Kelly, and Kelly throws it like, hey ya, like a fucking what is that called, a spear, right into Granny's stomach, and it does nothing. And I'm like, how does
Like
this not work on Granny?
we don't know because she has leprechaun. Like this is worse than leprechaun. Like we don't even know the power set. We don't know like the immunity. Because if it killed Antoinette, why didn't it kill her?
Right, well, I guess because
And where did you
Antoinette
get this
didn't
sword from?
Antoinette didn't drink the elixir.
Okay, we'll
I
go with that.
I think Namonami brought it in.
Stop. No, he did. I'm just saying, why didn't you have it at the beginning of the fucking movie? But
I
anyway,
don't know. Yeah.
so then Kelly knocks down
Another
the
curtain
curtains,
reveal.
and the sun hits Granny, and everyone like is burning, and then she evaporates into Macintosh, and it looks like I don't know, it's like that Samson game, and so she dies. Like, news, and she dies. And then Kelly's fine, and then she comes and they hug, and then the police are there. And I don't even know how she explains to the police what happened. I think she said
Oh,
something about a bomb.
so she said Granny faked her death, and when she found out that her family altered her will, she came back and killed them all with explosives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the oh, okay. Okay.
And then there's
And they
another
just
cop, and Kelly has it hot for this guy. I'm like, who is she?
yeah, I was like,
Misty Sutphin? Misty Sutphin, is that you?
like, didn't the love of your life just die? And you're just, and he's like, yeah, I'll keep an eye on you. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening in this movie?
Wink, wink,
And
wink.
mind you, Kelly doesn't have her glasses and ponytail on right now, so she looks beautiful, I guess.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
And so the cops are like, stick around because we may have questions. And I'm like, I have a lot of fucking questions. Is it this easy to get away with murder nowadays?
Like the end of Ready or Not. Anywho, so I have the last line. So Amy is acting like really sad, and Kelly says, "It's just me and you now, Amy. The others were weak, but you and I are strong. I've got hope for you. You've got potential." And we think Kelly's possessed because this is how Granny was talking. And Amy looks at her eyes go red and says, "You bet your ass, bitch." and then we see Kelly's face like, and then it's
like, fuck whoever greenlit this movie. There's shit that me and Tiffany could do, and y'all don't want to give us the money, but you'll give them the money for this bullshit.
I think this was a passion project. Somebody's husband had a bunch of money that he didn't want the IRS taking, and he said, "You know what? I'm about to hook it up, and I'm about to do some illegal shit." That's how it became the Granny.
Because my thing is, for Hollywood to do all these remakes, remake this shit. You could actually remake this and kind of do it well, honestly. You don't really have, like, the bar is in hell.
In hell.
So you can really do anything. You can do anything and make this movie amazing. So if anyone's listening, somebody remake The Granny, and you can watch The Granny on YouTube. Just type in The Granny full movie. It's currently on YouTube. We don't know how long it'll be there.
I think it said it had been on there for like 2 years or something like that. So
yeah, okay.
Yikes! This was tough. This was really tough to get through.
It wasn't even like like, you can't, like, it's not like Zombievers. Like, you can't be like, oh, this story is kind of going somewhere. Like, this was terrible.
Yeah,
it was so many unnecessary scenes. It was too long. I thought it was shorter. I was like, this is 50 minutes. Like,
and it's only like 80 minutes.
Women. Oh, yeah, it's just topless women. A lot of the
You want to see Tits McGee? Tune in. So my scoring, you already know, I know black people in it. I have to unfortunately give this a 2 out of 10. It just was, I cannot believe how bad it was. Now, if you would have caught me in 1998, I would have said 8 out of 10, hands down. But today, at 40, absolutely not. And I don't even think I would recommend this to anybody. But if you want to see it, based on this review, sure.
Yeah, check it out on YouTube. I do not fucking pay for it ever in your life. Do not pay for this shit.
I don't think it's anywhere.
I want to hit up Blockbuster and get my $1.99 back from renting it all those years ago. I'm gonna give it a 2 as well. It's just not good. Like, it's like it was the bare minimum. Like, again, well, actually, I would say Tubi movies had more story. I hear the movies on Tubi, even when they're terrible acting, the story is great. So this was not a good story. Again, Hollywood, remake The Granny. Why are you remaking shit that came out 5 years ago? Remake The Granny.
Hello, Mean Girls. I want to look up the budget for The Granny.
I'm scared. I'm scared you're going to disappoint me, because if it's anything more than $500. Like $500 in 1995. $500 in 1995. That's not bad.
It was $1 million.
Oh, get the in the podcast, please. Let's go. 1 million for what? To pay the actors? Are
I
any of
think
these
so.
actors even acting? Are any of the
The
actors
whole movie was filmed in one location.
Yeah, the house.
$1 million.
I wonder how much it made. That will piss me off if it made anything more than $5.
I don't even think that
I
went to
need
the
to
movies. I don't recall that being in the movie theaters. I only recall seeing that at Hollywood Video on Pass Road.
Blockbuster.
Yeah,
I
so
have nothing.
that's it for the granny.
All right.
Boo. Tomato, tomato, tomato.
Uh,
Yeah, so this is our basically our freestyle month. Again, we're still not doing the movie you want to do next week. I'm not quite ready yet. Um so this is going to be your choice. It could be a favorite.
I chose the granny.
Oh, you did choose the
Yes, I chose the granny, you asshole. A little lonely out on that limb, Miss Watson. You can't think of anything?
Let's see. Let's see what I like. Mm. Next week, we will be doing the cult classic, the Tommy Hilfiger inspired, The Faculty.
Oh my god! Wait, Tommy Hilfiger. Oh my god!
So they had such a push for Tommy Hilfiger. Like, if you watch the movie and actually look at their clothes, everything they were wearing was Tommy Hilfiger. They had ads and everything. Tommy Hilfiger down everything. When you watch it again, you'll see it.
This is one of my favorites, and you know they're about to remake it.
I heard, and I don't know how I feel. I think that there are a lot of things that they can do better for the movie because I feel like the ending. Well, we'll get to it, but I feel like the ending is very rushed in the movie. I feel like the movie should have been longer. But you know, to keep our minds focused, 90 minutes is all we could do back then. So, you know.
It was good horror. That was good horror. And
but we will talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. We got to save for that. All right,
okay,
so
give them our tags. Give them our tags.
Yes, so please send your requests, send your likes, follow us on Twitter X at BooShakalakaPod. Send in your requests to BooShakalakaPodcast@gmail.com. We are located on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts and YouTube at the moment. You can look in and see our beautiful faces, me with my terrible lighting that I'm working on. But we are there if you want to see us. If not, all of the episodes will be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So
yes, and you can also tweet us as well. So tweet us and give us your suggestions so we can keep this train rolling. You know, HelloFresh, I know you're listening. Yeah.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
Oh, and before we go, shout out to Gabrielle. Thank you so much for complimenting our Apple Music. Our Apple Music, like, have you seen the thumbnails? They look so good. Like, thumbnails for our episodes, like, you can really
Apple
see
Music?
like all. Shut up. Apple Podcasts. They look so Apple Podcasts. They look so good. She showed me today, and I was just like, oh my god, it really does look good. So yeah, shout out to you. Thanks for listening, Gabby.
And shout out to me who's doing all the.
Shout out to you who is
I'm listening.
Who's marketing? Shout out to our regional marketing manager. Thank you for all your hard work. And shout out to me, the CEO.
I'm done. Are you?
Chief Ejaculation Officer. Yes, I'm done.
All right. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy New Year.